Hello and welcome to this video traveling all the way from Saratov to Moscow and Amsterdam. First thing I decided to do on this third class Plaskar train to Moscow was check out the bathroom. It was a very nice modern bathroom with a shower and it was very looked after all the way to Moscow. I kept checking and yeah, I was not meant to do this. I did apologize to the cabin attendant afterwards. Of course, you should wear your cheeky breeky Adidas whilst you're in Russia. I mean, when else would you wear it? Our little room had 4 beds in a normal configuration, similar to coupe or second class. The two at the side near the hallway, they are considered the worst and probably the cheapest as well, because you get constantly disturbed there, so I would not recommend getting no seats at all. I'd recommend my seat on the bottom near the table. As we set out of Balakova around the Saratov area, we've seen this beautiful train. I wasn't quite sure what it was. If anyone does know what it is, let me know. I think it's to clear the snow off the rails. It was a huge train, never ending, but it was beautiful. I've never seen anything like it at all.
Hello, I'm in Saratov. Off to Ekaterinburg. We arrived in Michurinsk about, what time is it? 10 o'clock at night, -11. Hello.
Now at this point, the dream ended because I went to bed and listen. Miraculously, I got some sleep and I arrived in Moscow. Now this part of the journey is taking me to the very edge of Moscow, where I will be sleeping and staying for a week, seeing family and friends. I will be traveling to Krasnogorsk, which is about an hour from this point in Moscow. This is Moscow during New Year, so it's very festive, very snowy, as you'll see on this Elektrichka train. It's the little things that make your day, and these snowflakes and little Santa Clauses and polar bears, it simply makes you happy. I'd love to see this kind of effort on Manchester Metrolink, for example, because it's very rare. As I got ready for my Moscow adventure, we passed the Spartak Stadium, and I was off. I came to visit Ploshchad Revoluции, metro station, there are 76 bronze statues depicting Soviet workers, from farmers to soldiers. It's widely believed if you rub some of the bronze statues, including the dog's snout, you will get good luck. I wouldn't recommend this during COVID times, but even still, please visit this fantastic phenomenon of a station. I was lucky enough to see an old Soviet train and I was completely amazed. Enjoy. Arriving at Sheremetyevo Terminal D, the airport was completely empty. It looked almost deserted. There were plenty of departures on the board. I just assumed this is because the airport was so big, it looked empty. After grabbing a quick pancake at Chocolatnica, I decided to chill, look at the amazing views and the snow that just fell at Sheremetyevo. And of course, a quick look in the Volcra cannot be escaped when in Moscow. After vodka, I did some flight watching, looked out the window, and our plane arrived exactly on time. A Boeing 737-700. It was time to board and say goodbye to Moscow. For now. I sat down on the back row. As you can see, it was very cramped, didn't have much leg space at all. To make it better, the guy in front of me did recline afterwards, but luckily I did get the whole row to myself again. Could not have been happier. We pushed back and I said goodbye to Moscow. No, I did do the unthinkable here and take off my shoes. I needed the leg space for my 6'2" body, so I'm sorry to everyone on board about that. After the plane was de-iced, that's it, we're on our way. Actually, 4 minutes earlier than scheduled. Great. There was something quite unique and magical about seeing airplanes stored away in the snow, looking almost abandoned. It's a very Moscow thing. We held up some cars and vehicles on the way, but we obviously had priority, so I'm sure they could wait a little bit longer. Before pissing off the people driving too much, we flew off, never to see them again. left the cold, beautiful Moscow behind. We dissolved through the clouds, and from above you can see glimmers of life beneath it. Now a quick toilet review is never out of the question.
Very nice.
Very clean, looked after, quite narrow actually, but still enough for me to sit down and have some fun. The food on board this 3 hour and 10 minute flight was not great as well. It was a egg and crest sandwich with a little drink to go with it, so for the price I would have expected a bit more. It was a little dark in the cabin. I was trying to show that the seats in front of me were reclined, and that did leave very little leg space. If I didn't have the seats to the left of me empty, I'm not sure what I would have done for this long flight. I would have been very cramped, very uncomfortable, and probably would have had to ask the guy in front of me to not recline his seat. But ultimately, I did arrive into Amsterdam, a very rainy one at that. So I made it. I'm back in Manchester. I flew from Amsterdam to Manchester. The flight was quite uneventful. Just quite lots of PCR tests and checks. So if you do go, make sure you have that ready with you. Now, about the flight itself, it did end up costing me £413.08, which is quite steep. Just keep in mind that I did fly in peak tourism season. So it was in December, Russian New Year. So they do charge quite a bit more. But for reference, I was initially booked on Brussels Airways, and that costed me about £250, so quite a lot less. But they did end up cancelling that flight, so I ended up booking on KLM. Could have gone a bit cheaper, but I chose the Royal Dutch Airlines for their reputation. In the end, it was pretty good. The flight to Moscow was much better. The service was better and the seat room was better, I think. The flight on the way back, there wasn't that much food and the seats were very cramped, and as I said, if I had neighbours next to me, I'm not sure how I would have coped. But in the end, average. Well, thanks guys for watching. Hope to see you in the next one.